Hello, what is up? Today I'm going to make a tutorial how you can make gauges work on your auto-beam cars. Now this might sound very complicated, but once you understand how it works, then it's not that hard actually. Anyway, first of all, you want your car, of course. Now we need to have some base things. So you need Notepad++. Well, you don't have to, but I recommend it. And you need some sort of 3D modeling software. I definitely recommend Blender because that's like the only one I know to use, and that's what I'm gonna show you how to do in this video. But if you know how to use another software, then that's fine too. Anyway, I put all these links in the description, by the way. You want to click on the latest version, and you want to go click on installer here. Well, no, I already have it, so I'm not going to do it. Now with Blender, same thing. Click on Blender, download. And yeah, so you want to go to Notepad++. Can't type. Okay, Notepad++. There you go. Then you're going to want to go to Settings. Then you want to go to Style Configurator. And then you see here in language, you want to scroll down to JSON, or you can press J, and then it will bring you to J. Here's the JSON. Now I see default extension and then user extension. Now here you want to just type in JBeam. You are going to save and close. Now we're going to quickly set up Blender, so let's open Blender real quick. So that's how we set it up. We go here, we go delete hierarchy, so everything is deleted. You want to go to this icon here. It says scene properties. Right here. You see unit system, make sure that's metric. And then you want to go to length, meters. Make that meters. Then we are gonna go here. Click on this arrow here. Arrow below. Go to view. See clip start. You would put some more 0.00. You don't want to put it to 0, otherwise it's going to clip too close. It's going to clip in a very weird way and then you can't see anything. So low but not 0. Okay. Now you want to go here. Save startup file. Okay. Now it's all set up. Okay. Now I can close it. And okay. Now you're going to want to export your car twice. So first time you want to export with all the steering wheels and stuff, and as you can see, I do not have any seats, so the driver's gonna stand, I guess. Anyway, let me show you how I set it up. So I added this little knob here to show that like this is the center of the steering wheel. That's gonna be useful for me later on. Not required, but I recommend it. So. And then I have my gauge here. I have my mod, haha, yeah, with a needle, and I have some, and then the rest here are just like gauges from the era mod. I'll link the interior mod in the description if you would like it and you don't have it. So yeah, this is a different needle actually. And yeah, I don't know if I'll get this needle to work though, because I don't know if BeamNG has a voltage counter thing. Anyway, and then also the steering wheel. Yeah, I'm gonna get that to work. Works pretty similarly, so yeah. Now, what you want to do to make sure the cars have the same materials is this invisible? I believe so. Anyway, you want to make sure that these materials are being used somewhere. So, what I recommend doing is to go use some sort of material that you can reuse. Okay. And because we are going to export this car twice, once with the gauges and one without, we are going to need to be, just in case, are going to add a very small fixture that's just going to be hidden away somewhere, that is just going to have those materials. So I'm just going to get some patchwork and I'll just put it right under here, this wheel well. No one will see it. So I'm going to make this material. And I'm going to copy this over. And I'm going to use this plastic material. That's what I use for the steering wheel. And I don't think I've used any other material. Nope. So yeah. Okay. So we have our materials that are hidden away. And it's time to export it. So go to the export page, export another game. And this is important, especially in Blender. You're gonna wanna make it have a very short name, like, I don't know, C. I don't know if the mod name matters, but just in case I'm gonna make that shorter too. You can always change the mod name and the car name afterwards, which I will show you how to do, so that won't be a problem. Anyway, time to export this. Okay, you can open the folder. And then you're going to want to go add folder here. So, KH modding. You're going to delete this afterwards. So here's the car, C. I'm going to open archive. I'm going to go to vehicles, C. And then you want to go get this c.dae file. Or whatever car name, as long as it's super short, the AE file, you want to drag it out, and you want to put it somewhere. I'm going to put this in this folder, and then you can delete this mod. And we're going to confirm that I'm going to go back. You're going to go into fixtures, and then what you want to do is, if you care about these, if you haven't already, make a clone of this. So just go to car projects. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna clone car trim. I'm gonna trim only. Let's clone it. I'm gonna open it. No. Anyway, back in the fixtures here. Now I do not want to delete this, but rather you want to make this invisible. Select. Go here. Export it. And now this is important, very important. Make sure it has this exact same car name and mod name as the previous one. Now this is the mod. This is going to be the mod that we're going to be using. As in, we're going to take the meshes from the other mod. So I'm going to put in this one, which means if you want to make any changes to your car, make sure you make changes to the car without the gauges and the needles. But beware that if you use different materials or like remove some fixtures, it might mess up the whole material, so beware. Anyway, we have successfully exported the car. We can now close automation. We don't need it anymore. Okay, now we have this here and this. Now we're gonna go unpack this mod. So if you haven't unpacked a car, if you haven't unpacked a mod before, I'll be showing you how to do that. You want to unpack it. can double check that in unpacked, and you see here your mod folder. If you unpack a mod and it comes up with these errors, error extracting file and then a file name afterwards, then what you want to do, you want to copy this and paste it somewhere else. You go in here, delete all of these files that you don't need, and then exit out of it. Then it should unpack automatically. Now once you are done, grab whatever file you have edited. You want to go to your file that you copied, open it, go in here, drag drop whatever files you have modified into here. Go here, repack it, delete that packed file, go back into here and drag this into mods. Now that we have unpacked, we can start. Now I definitely recommend going to small grid maps, as that is the fastest loading map. Gonna replace current. And the car should load up. You want to go to the folder you have placed this model, the one with all the gauges. Then you are then going to want to go to Blender. Then you want to go new, and then you want to import collider default .dae. You want to go locate that DAE file, and you're going to import it. In the scene collection, you'll see all kinds of stuff. The only thing we care about right now is your car name _ body 0. So everything else we can delete. And then we only have the car body. To quickly confirm if the material names have not been messed up, you should see here material _ number _ C _ or car name _ temp something. The material name is short enough, so that's perfect. Now what you want to do is you want to go back into your unpacked file path, and then you want to locate carname.jb, and then you want to click edit with notepad. Now you should see all of these lines of code, but all we care about right now is in flex bodies, mesh, C car body, and then position X and Y. Now the X position and Y position are so small for the editing we are doing. They in Blender effectively literally just reset to 0. So there's no point in copying these and these if they are this small. You can see by E- and then something. So I'm just going to copy Z. Copy. Go to Blender. Select this. Go to item. Then you want to place this in location Z. Paste it. Go back in here. See rotation. Go to Z. Is 180 degrees. Paste this. And now the body is orientated the correct way. Now what you want to do is you want to unedited mode, and then you want to separate the needles from the car mesh. Now this isn't a Blender tutorial, so I am just going to do this on myself. There are plenty of Blender tutorials if you need help on any of them. This is just not one of them. So yeah. Separated everything except these two gauges down below, because, well, it's just a tutorial. You can of course do all these gauges yourself, but I don't want to waste too much time, so have these four, and BeamNG these are called props, since they have an assigned function, and stuff that doesn't have an assigned function just is there, and is breakable, deformable, stuff like that, is called the flex body. Go here to the side view, and you want to rotate this to be upright. And then you want to get the rotation value from here. This looks upright enough. Then you want to go here to global, and you want to start rotating this using roll. So this seems like it's rotating fine. This is back to 0. Now it's centered. Now you want to copy this value, and you want to go steering wheel. You want to get rid of the D there. Okay, this is the rotation value of that. And then what you need to do again is Ctrl A rotation. And then it's reset to 0. Now, let's do the same for all of these. And don't forget, I don't know why I didn't name this earlier. Name these meshes to something you will remember. What you want to do, you want to export as a DAE again. Then you want to go locate your unpacked here. Then do not overwrite this. You do not want to overwrite the car mesh, because that will be pretty bad. Now, the name of the DAE does not matter, so I'll just type in whatever. Make sure Y is forward and Z is up. Hello, it's me from the future, and when I was making the video, I found a mistake that I did. So I'm going to show you a bit more optimized way to do this that will not have the bug that I encountered. So basically just create a new file, name it to something like camzo_interior.jbeam. Doesn't really matter. Just change it. Then you want to edit it. And then what you want to do is I would have put this in the description. You want to paste this, and as you can see, I have slots here. Basically, if you want any sub slots, you can do that. Glow map, just like there. Props, flex bodies, nodes, beams. You don't really need the flex bodies or the glow map, but it's just there, just so it's nice to have. Now this is really important. You're going to want to open this card.jbeam file, and then you see here in slots, you're going to want to add a new slot. So let's add a space in here, 2 square brackets, open and close, and then type in camzo_interior. And then the same right here. And then just the description. Okay, now we're done here. Now you want to hit here. So, for the props that we're going to set up, you're going to want to go to the paste bin, and then copy what's in here, and paste it. So I'll give a quick rundown on what these things mean. Above here is what the items below do here. Separate comma, so here's the function, here's the mesh, here's ref, anyway. This is the function, this is basically what the needle's supposed to do. In this case, I've typed in RPM. I'll put a list in the description, or pinned comment, or something, of all the functions that I know of. Anyway, so yeah, this is RPM, so the needle knows to display RPM. Mesh is the mesh name, and the mesh name is what you named the mesh in Blender. So let's just put that in there. I put RPM gauge. ID ref, IDX, and IDY. The ref is the reference, the origin point of the needle, so the position in Blender. IDX is the position of the needle in Blender, but the X is offset very slightly. IDY is the same, but except the X being offset slightly, it's the Y. Both being offset left and back, respectively. Anyway, here's base rotation, which is what the mesh is rotated initially, before being rotated. And in here, we're going to put in our value in case that we needed to. In my case, I did. So, maybe I didn't, but I did. In my case, I actually have to add 90 to this, so let's turn this into 113. I will give a quick disclaimer that BeamNG modeling is quite inconsistent, and you might need to use different base rotations for your needles, but this should be good for a start. Anyway, rotation is how much is the needle going to rotate per unit. So this is how many degrees it will rotate per RPM. Generally you want to have it a negative value if you want it to turn to the right. If you have a gauge that turns to the left, of course you want this to be positive, but in my case it turns right. Now you can calculate this. So you're going to want to open your calculator, and you're going to want to take how many degrees does your gauge go. For my gauge mods, I always make it 270 degrees. But for other mods, it might be different, so you might want to check that. Anyway, 270, in my case, divided by. And then, what is the maximum value? So, in this case, it's RPM, 12,000 RPM. Full speed will be in meters per second. But yeah. Then divided by 12,000, and then we get a value. And then you just put that in here. Don't forget the minus if it turns to the right. Anyway, translation is about the same as rotation. Instead of rotating, it moves the mesh. So if you want to have one of those horizontal gauges that like shows RPM or speed by like moving left and right, it's like that. You can do that here with this. And min and max, I think that is kind of self-explanatory. That's the minimum value of whatever, and the maximum value. Offset is how much is it offset by the unit. So if I type in 1,000, then it will offset the needle by 1,000 RPM initially, but we don't want that. And multiplier is just, well, it's a multiplier. If you have it 2, then it will turn twice as fast, and if you have 0.5, then it will be twice as slow. So yeah, you generally want to keep this at 1 always. Now, next up, you want to go to your nodes, and then you want to go back to the paste bin, and you want to go to this section. I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to paste it. Now, this is where your positions are, the nodes. So you want to grab the positions that you had from Blender, and put them in here. You want to add a 0.03 to X, which is right here. So we turn this into a 9, and the same for Y. You want to add 0.03. So we change this into, since this is a negative value, we make this 8.4. And now we're done setting up the nodes. And now what's left to do is setting up the beams. Go back to the paste bin, go to the link in the description, and then select all of this, copy, and then paste it. Now, these are all preset values. If they don't work, you might want to choose different ones. You can do so by pressing Ctrl N and then looking around the car what other nodes you have that start with A. You typically would want one on the left, one on the right, one in the front, and one in the back, and on the top. And repeat these steps until you've done for all the gauges, and then go to BeamNG and press Ctrl R to reload all the mods. If this happens to your car, then the beam spring and the beam damp values are probably too low on your car, so you might want to increase this a bit. Don't do it too much, or else, yeah, this will happen. So yeah, all's good now. Now there is one last step to do. Basically go to your mod files, go to the info.json file, and then where you see name here is exactly where you can put your car name. So and then you save it, and then you're done. Thanks for watching, and I hope that you have enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any questions, please put in the comments below. I'd be glad to help you. And anyway, bye, I guess.